You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Under Construction, Part 4. A second challenge in giving attention to your inner being is to be intentional about what you eat. You are what you eat. Now, I heard a physical trainer say recently that diet is not rocket science. You can put all foods into two categories, good and bad. So we have a plate of broccoli, and then we have a deep fried Mars bar. One is good and one is not so good for you. If you want to, you can take some of the Mars bar stuff and fill your body with lard and grease and fat and raise your cholesterol and do damage to your heart. But it's nice to taste. You know, there's never been a civilization in history that has been more conscious of how we feed our bodies and less conscious about how we feed our souls. You are feeding the inner you all the time. Conversations you have, books you read, newspapers, Netflix, TV shows, movies, songs even that we hear, fantasies that we entertain. I'm constantly feeding the inner me. There is a huge illusion in these days. I can just feed the inner me whatever I want to and still live according to the values that I hold to. But it doesn't work that way. You are what you eat. Myself and my wife like good movies and TV series, but we have to deploy an incredible filter now as to what we watch, because amongst a good story there is stuff that is destructive for our inner worlds. We like watching the news. We record it and watch it, but we have to filter all the stuff that's being told to us, so that our inner world isn't polluted by stuff that's going to damage it. Perhaps you struggle with fear, and so your intake is filtered in reverse. You fear things, and you hear things, and you watch things that will feed your fear. But then there's a scripture. It says in Joshua 1:9, "Have I not commanded you?" Here it is. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Immediately in reading a scripture like that, we've switched out the rubbish that can come into our inner world and changed it to incredibly encouraging statements and truth from scripture. Perhaps you have been starved of love. You've suffered rejection and don't really know what it's like to receive love. Look at this, 1 John 3:1. "How great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God." And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know Him. Amazing stuff. So what we're saying with this food intake thing is to create not only filters of stuff that will damage you on the inside, even if it looks good or sounds good, but to actually intake into your system stuff that will encourage you, strengthen you and grow you. Under construction, we call this. You allow the hand of God through those mediums to build your life. Be very careful when you're listening or watching on YouTube or some of these places where you see great sermons, that you're not always listening to people who are always against something. And that's something I would tell a church congregation. Just be careful, because often you get people that are on bandwagons of some sort. Listen to or watch people that will build you up and will bring positivity into your inner world. God bless you.